So this is the Jimmy Dore video that's like making the rounds on like left Twitter today. We already, for those of you who don't know the rest of the drama, I mean, I think this is a pretty good rendition, I guess, a pretty good summarization of what the is going on with the Jimmy Dore drama. Jimmy calls out AOC, says AOC's not doing enough to push for Medicare for all, says that AOC should use her power now that like there is a slimmer margin in Congress, wants a purely aesthetic vote on Medicare for all from the Democrats, wants to put it to the floor at least, so that and hold Nancy Pelosi's appointment over it, says she's fake and a grifter or whatever, and has like left the left, or is like against Medicare for all or something now. 1917 women's suffrage was an aesthetic vote. Yeah, no, women's suffrage happened on accident. You're right, because like congressional Democrats in the House knew that the congressional Republicans in the Senate were never going to pass it, so they said they're going to go for it, and then boom, oops, before you know it, women can vote. I'm so glad that they duped their way. Yeah, there was no mass mobilization or anything like that. It just happened purely when with this gamesmanship. Good accident, just a happy, fun accident.
Kyle Kalinske just turned on you, AOC. Did you see that video?
Kyle Kalinske turned on you.
Guess who else? Crystal Ball. Guess who else? Jimmy Dore. Guess who else? Medea Benjamin. Cornel.
Wait, he just named himself. We know Jimmy.
Everybody sees through you, except your fucking sycophant DSA dickheads in fucking Brooklyn. We see through you. Even my detractors see through you. That's right. Everybody sees through the squad now. And why AOC? I'm telling, they're pushing her out there because she's the most sympathetic. And so idiots can say, stop attacking her when she is standing between you and healthcare and protecting Nancy Pelosi and her.
AOC recently went on Jeremy Cahill's Intercepted podcast and literally said Nancy Pelosi needs to go, which from her position of profound influence and actual political power is infinitely more significant as a take than any number of things Jimmy Dore can say, whether it be advocacy for Tulsi Gabbard, who is a fucking Joe Biden simp and a transphobe, or whatever the fuck Jimmy Dore talks about on a daily basis. He will always, he's a coworker of mine, ex-coworker of mine. He will always have my respect for spitting on Alex Jones. Okay, that does not go away. He has some good takes. He has some takes that I disagree with. Yeah, I disagree with the. I think AOC deserves criticism, but I disagree with this line of reasoning that like AOC is anti-Medicare for all now or something like that. But then again, Jimmy Dore and I disagreed when we were both at the Young Turks when he said that Donald Trump was going to be a peaceful dove and that Donald Trump would be better than Hillary Clinton and advocated for accelerationism. And I did not. I was against that. And I think I was right and he was wrong on that. So tell chat we need to bully politicians. They get mad when you say criticize AOC. No, I think chat has its own way of simping for politicians, but I criticize Bernie Sanders. I criticize AOC. It's about what you criticize them over. If you criticize Bernie Sanders, for example, and say, well, he's an imperialist, warmonger, social democrat who does not go far enough because he's not like fucking, seizing AK-47s, intercepting like AK-47 transfers from the CIA to like a paramilitary in the Middle East, and then using those AK-47s to like infiltrate an American forward operating base and like killing U.S. military members, then you're a psycho and you should not be taken seriously. And by the way, like, I'm obviously like joking but there are people who like literally think Bernie Sanders is not revolutionary enough. It's like, dude, you are delusional. Like you live in a world where you are alone in your fantasy. Okay. Certainly will never be revolution with conceding careerists like AOC. Here's my take on AOC once again. AOC is not the end-all be-all of your movement. AOC is not the end-all be-all of our movement. If you have this over-reliance on someone like AOC, then you are a silly bitch. She is a politician. Ultimately, politicians are not your friends. You should absolutely pressure them, but you should also make sure that you're pressuring them in the right way. You're pressuring them to do the right things. Expecting one fucking like second year congressperson to basically like do a symbolic thing that you want her to do that is not going to get the movement or the cause anywhere is a ridiculous thing to have grievances over. You're right. Voting for sanctions and allowing the F-35 to be developed in your state is anti-imperialist. See? This is what I'm talking about. Snarklord here is referencing Bernie Sanders, who got F-35s to be developed in the state of Vermont. That is not good. It's something I've criticized Bernie Sanders over in the past. He wanted to make sure that Vermonters took advantage of the F-35's insanely expanded budgets and create jobs in his state. I think that's bullshit. That's not a good move for Bernie Sanders. Voting for sanctions, on the other hand, is something that Bernie Sanders has gone both back and forth on. So I don't know which sanctions you're referencing, because he did vote against the sanctions on Iran and against the sanctions on Russia. But I am a normal human being with a normal brain that hasn't been rotted by the constant echo chamber feedback that I get from like-minded individuals who tell me that like every fucking politician is supposed to be a Marxist or anarchist revolutionary. So I can sit back and be like, Bernie Sanders is, of course, imperfect, but pretty damn near close to perfect in the grand scheme of things with respect to the time and place. If you want to fucking organize, you have to recognize the importance of people like Bernie Sanders or the importance of people like AOC and all that they do to make left-leaning politics and leftist politics more mainstream so that you can organize outside of that. That's how it fucking works. You understand this, and you know damn well that politicians are not going to take it to the fucking streets. And if they were going to take it to the fucking streets, they wouldn't be in politics to begin with. But saying that like Bernie is an imperialist warmonger is psychopathic. My take on this is a little bit different than other people's. AOC and what's this fucking Sirota and Sam Cedar and other people have had more thoughtful, more nuanced approaches to applying pressure to Nancy Pelosi. And I think that they are smart, and David Dane as well. I think they are correct in where you apply pressure. A symbolic vote on Medicare for all is just throwing it in the fucking garbage. If you're going to, I'm not saying you should not apply pressure to Nancy Pelosi. I'm not even saying that you should vote for Nancy Pelosi. I think Nancy Pelosi sucks ass. Like, I don't think any of us on the left are like, oh no, this is actually great and we love Nancy Pelosi. What most people are saying is apply pressure in areas where you can actually make a change. A symbolic gesture on Medicare for all is not an area of change, but forcing certain cabinet positions or using your political bottlenecking power to get certain appointments or to push for certain pieces of legislation is actually a smarter and more effective way of using your political capital. I think it's a lose-lose situation. I said this before. I said that it's either, boom, purely symbolic and Democrats all vote in unison and say yes in Congress and not in the Senate, knowing full well that it won't get passed in the Senate, or they say no because they want to take it up as a political battle against Medicare for all to like purposely excise the left from the political arena and in unison with the media start criticizing Medicare for all. And then for a symbolic fucking bill that it wasn't going to go anywhere anyway, you are now officially just attacking Medicare for all for no fucking reason. And a lot of those voters, a lot of those MSNBC watching voters are now critical of Medicare for all if they otherwise had a more positive point of view. Where's the proof that they will vote for Medicare for all in the House? It will most likely get voted no in the House. Again, it's literally a lose-lose, which is because I originally thought maybe they'll vote no in the House. And if they vote no in the House, then you have a coordinated, unified media effort along with congressional establishment Democrats who literally fucking uses an example of how the left want unicorns and how, leftists don't know how to do politics and purposely vilify the left and also attack Medicare for all at a time when they're not even interested in pushing for the public option. If you want to put pressure, I said, put it on the virtue of the public option. Let them attack the public option if they're not going to do it. It's a symbolic yes vote regardless, even if it is a yes vote.
Key organizing moments may look like random uprisings and viral internet moments to some, but they aren't. They are the results of years of targeting, organizing, and people's movements. And this took 2 weeks. This took 2 weeks from someone who already went bankrupt from medical bills. It took 2 weeks. How long you been fucking working on this? I figured this out in 2 weeks, AOC. You liar, you coward, you gaslighter, you standing in the way of people in healthcare. You run on healthcare and then you deny it to us. You dangle it in front of your fucking constituents. And then when you get there, you don't lift a fucking finger. And I'm the problem? Fuck you. You already voted for the CARES Act. Fuck you. And fuck anybody who is protecting her. Fuck you.
I've never seen someone who smokes so much fucking weed get so mad all the time. Of course, in classic Jimmy Dore fashion,
constituents.
The error here is claiming that AOC voted for the CARES Act.
Hassle.
So that was funny. Like, she was insanely critical of the CARES Act. She's one of the few fucking voices who was literally like, she was to the left of Bernie on that. So that's pretty funny as well. So AOC's out of flavor now, guys. I have criticized AOC in the past for some of her takes on Israel, or I've criticized AOC in the past for not immediately rushing to defend Ilhan Omar, or being too late to defend Ilhan Omar, even though they're friends, and I'm sure that she would probably take a lot of offense to that. I've also been extremely critical. This is the one issue that I am completely against AOC on. Okay, there's one issue where I am completely against AOC on, and that is League of Legends. The fact that she plays League of Legends is disgusting to me, okay? I'm just kidding. I think her Venezuela takes weren't great either. Like, there's some stuff with foreign policy in regards to like Bolivia and Venezuela where, I mean, I'll just look it up right now. But like, unfortunately, we don't have like fucking radical anti-war lefties anymore. We just don't have them. So like, most of the people that get into a position of power they turn out like they just don't have like very nuanced points of view and are terrified of coming across as like aggro against American imperialism. The right time to vote on Medicare for all will never come, even though the Dem supermajority blue dogs will exist who say no to it. What then? Again, here is my reply to Kyle. Kyle wants a vote for Medicare for all to be on the floor. Why does he want that? Because he wants to know who the enemies are within the Democratic Party. Do I disagree with that? Absolutely not. I do agree with this right time to vote for Medicare for all and the public pressure. But the time to do it when people can effectively get on board and say, yes, I want Medicare for all, when there is no certainty that, like, when fucking Joe Biden isn't even the president yet, and that and we don't even know if Democrats are going to have the Senate majority. People can symbolically fucking oppose it or symbolically get on board with it, and it doesn't matter. Also, I need to once again mention that if AOC tomorrow said, we're going to fucking push for Medicare for all, I would not stand in opposition and say, oh, it's the wrong time now. Just remember that. Kamala signed on for Medicare for all. Exactly. If there was an organized movement to continue the pressure on the Democratic Party right now for Medicare for all, and the Democrats held the Senate and the House, and Joe Biden was president, and at that point you pushed for a fucking bill like this, and then we saw actually who was against Medicare for all, because you no longer can put together, symbolic yes votes. That's the best way to do it. That is the best time and place to do it. So if Dems win Georgia, will you support a Medicare for all vote? I support a Medicare for all vote tomorrow if you want it. I am critical of it. I'm critical of the people who are like fucking freaking out and losing their minds over it. But I said it from day one. Like, if AOC was like, no, we're going to do it, we're going to push for a Medicare for all vote tomorrow, then I'm not going to stand in opposition against that. I'm for Medicare for all. Even if I think something is not the right move or not the sound move, that doesn't stop me from still advocating for it. I don't care. I'm still going to try to make it work as best as possible. You can call me a grifter for that reason, if you want, but that's it. I am a grifter for Medicare for all. I want Medicare for all. If AOC said the floor vote should be forced, would you still have the same position? I would still think it's a symbolic vote that's not going to go anywhere, but I would be in favor of it, yes. And the reason for why I would be in favor of it in that situation is because I'm in favor of Medicare for all across the board. So if someone is advocating for it, I'm not going to stand in opposition against it.